Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your May 2022 mid-month general readings. We are looking at the last 2 weeks of May, and this reading is for the earth sign of Virgo. Welcome, everyone. I hope, as I always do, that you're all doing well, and thanks for taking the time to be here to watch these videos. Thank you as well for your like, share, subscribe, support, feedback, those of you who reach out for personal readings. I always like to start with a note of gratitude because I never want to forget that I'm grateful to all of you for making this possible. So thank you. Okay, Virgo, this is for you for the last half of May 2022. That's if your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Virgo. It's relevant if you're cross-watching for a Virgo. It's going to resonate a little differently for everyone, of course. It's a general reading. How could it not? But if you know all of your signs, sun, moon, rising, and Venus, watch them all for any additional insight and perspective they may provide. And if you find something does resonate with you, and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else. Personal readings do make great gifts. Feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also get that contact info by clicking the description link, the little arrow there. I'd be delighted to hear from you, and I can usually respond the same day with more information. I do offer quite a wide variety of readings in all the main areas of life, and I'm pretty timely about scheduling, so if you're interested, send me an email. Okay, Virgo, let's see what the last half of May looks like for you. I am using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with the Gilded Tarot Royale, I think. We begin with a little inventory taking. 7 of Coins. Taking a look at what you have invested in something in order to make any decisions about it. To keep things the same, to try and make them better, to grow this a little more, or just to take what you can and go start something else somewhere else. With the 3 of Wands. Excuse me. Both of these cards together have kind of a not too action-oriented energy. I mean, the 7 of Coins is about taking stock, taking inventory. You know, what efforts have I put into whatever this is, person, place, situation? What do I have to show for it? Is it justified? Do I make any changes? Do I do anything new? The 3 of Wands is about starting to see some of your efforts paying off, feeling more hopeful and positive about the future. Although, you know, this represents having done some of the work, and now you're waiting, you're watching the ships come in and wondering what's on them, but you feel actually pretty optimistic. But it's a more just state of patient waiting energy. We have the Devil, perhaps some negative cycles going on here. This is the traditional card for addictions, obsessions, mental health issues, unhealthy relationships, anything that we have an unhealthy cyclical pattern with that's very difficult to break, because the Devil, or whatever the Devil card represents, enslaves and entraps through something alluring, something that we think we need, something that we tell ourselves we need. I mean, this couple is kind of in this cage, right, with the Devil above them. But it's a nice gold gilded cage, and the door is completely open, right? They could free themselves if they wanted to, but they're telling themselves for whatever reasons that they need whatever the cage represents. So it's obsessions, typically negative cycles of some kind. With the 3 of Swords, heartache, heartbreak, breakup, separation, disappointment, something happening over and over and over again, being disappointed over and over and over again, being hurt over and over again, whether it's by someone else or sometimes with us ourselves, if you're the one that has, you know, the issue here. Next, we have the 2 of Wands, at a crossroads, a choice to be made. Do I go this way? Do I go that way? Which is probably what those first 2 cards are about as well. Trying to take a look at what you have invested in a situation and what you need to do. With the 2 of Wands, we have the Hanging Man. Yeah, it's kind of a wait and see sort of energy. The Hanging Man, he's hanging upside down because he gets a different perspective there. He can pick up new knowledge and information, but it's a card about not taking action or being decisive just yet, because things are still playing out and you're watching and you're waiting. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy and focus is the Ace of Swords. Aces represent the number 1, so the start of something new, a new path or a new opportunity. Swords is governed by the element of air, which governs our intellectual landscape, which is how we look at things, perspectives, ideologies, belief systems, because that affects how we look at and communicate and relate with everything outside of ourselves. That's what the suit of swords is about. It's everything that goes on up here. So the Ace of Swords is like the epiphany, illumination, clarity, the light bulb going off over your head. So truth being revealed here. That's the overall energy. It may be, Virgo, which would be fairly similar to your other sister signs mid-month readings as well, Taurus and Capricorn, that you or perhaps someone close to you, someone that you're very close to, whether it's romantically or otherwise, has an issue of some kind, the Devil card. This is a general reading, so the Devil card can represent a variety of things. For some people, it might mean actual substance abuse, addictions, mental health issues, a cycle of unhealthy relationships, or a combination of all of those things. It could be you or someone close to you. It feels like perhaps this has happened before. Clarify the Ace of Swords. But there's more truth being revealed here. Perhaps some insight and clarity is being gained by you, by the other person. And you're waiting and watching, or the other person is waiting and watching to see how this plays out. Is this person going to change? Are they really going to self-examine enough that they can take a look at their own process and learn how to change that process? Again, whether it's you or someone close to you. For some of you, it'll be yes. For some, no. Clarify the Ace of Swords. Just had a whole bunch pop out, too many, so let's keep going. We have the Devil and the Lovers. So there's likely a relationship at the center of this, or a relationship that's getting affected by this, because the Lovers represents a relationship at a crossroads, meaning that a decision needs to be made either about the relationship itself or in another area of life that will profoundly affect the relationship. But the Devil is showing up here. We have the Devil twice. And this is all clarifying, kind of the epiphany, what's being seen or what's being recognized as the truth of what it is. And it may be that you whoever it is that struggles with the Devil card issue, and one can argue that it's not just the person who, has the issue, but it's also the people around them that it affects. There's truth coming out. There's some kind of enlightenment coming out about some negative cycle. What that negative cycle is, it could be a variety of things: actual substance abuse, it could be infidelity or cheating, it could be a variety of things, but something is being learned here about this and the cyclical nature of it and how it's affecting the relationship. Clarify the Seven of Coins. Taking stock, taking inventory, trying to decide what is the best thing to do here. Five of Wands, conflict, internal conflict, external conflict, fighting about the same thing over and over and over again, petty drama. The Fool, starting over, starting a brand new path. The Fool has the 0 on his card because it's the very first major arcana card. It's where the tarot journey begins, meaning particularly important sections of our lives. So it can represent stepping outside the comfort zone, doing something different, starting over again. Clarify the Two of Wands, choices, decisions. The Hanging Man again, which makes sense because the Three of Wands is kind of a gestative, patient, waiting sort of card anyway. The Hanging Man, of course, is waiting to see how things play out. The Six of Wands, the Ace of Cups, victory, triumph, success, and a brand new beginning. This feels very much here like this looks like a relationship in which the same issue keeps coming up over and over and over again. Some kind of negative toxic cycle from one or both people in the relationship. And each time it comes up, there's a process of perhaps trying to get better, recovery. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But then it keeps cycling back to the same thing because whatever triggers that devil card energy triggers somebody. A trigger is something that causes somebody to go back into an unhealthy pattern, right? Like being overwhelmed, tired, exhausted can trigger people back into an unhealthy cycle or something like that. And I think it's a question of, well, are they really going to change this time around? Can this really be different this time around? Can there really be a new beginning within this relationship? Or should we just kind of agree to separate and have a new beginning away from each other? That's what this kind of feels like. Clarify the devil. The Three of Cups with the devil could represent alcoholism, partying energy, like too much. The Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups, which are beautiful cards. This is the Happy Home card, and this is New Beginning. But that's part of the negative cycle too, is, okay, you do too much of this, something major happens, and then the person says, okay, I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to recover. I'm going to do everything I need to do. We can start over again. But this cycle, this is actually, and fair enough, right? It takes whatever it takes for people to hit their bottom. But this is also part of the cycle, which makes it difficult to, when you're in a relationship with that person, even when you love them, because it's like, okay, I hear them say that and I want to believe that they won't do the thing again, but it's happened so much before. Do I give it another shot? Do I say, no, this is enough, I can't do this anymore? Because the devil has showed up, because the lovers have showed up, it's likely that you have a very deep, this is a very deeply connected relationship, and one that has its own perhaps level of obsession or negativity in it too. It's difficult to break free from that. But on a path of recovery, both people have to be on board for doing whatever it takes in order for that to be successful. And the way that it ends, and I don't mean ends finally, and I only look at basically a 2-week period of time, is waiting to see, waiting to make up your mind, waiting, here with the Two of Wands, waiting to see, not really making a particularly decisive action yet, like to stay, to fully commit, to go, because you're waiting to see how it plays out, which probably means if it's you or somebody, or if it's somebody close to you, watching somebody go through recovery of something difficult to deal with, something that's an issue, and waiting to see if they're serious, waiting to see if they actually do change through their actions. That's kind of the gist of this whole reading. But there's hope here, I think. I'm not sure why I say that, but because I feel it. And this is a general reading, so it's not going to be that way for everybody for whom this resonates, right? But the fact that I feel it quite strongly represents that for more than half of you, well, there's always hope in one way or the other, right? But for this relationship itself, I still feel hope in there. So let's just end by pulling some advice, guidance, feedback for Virgo. The Star, hope, renewed and restored hope, faith, and optimism. It usually comes after the Tower. In the Tarot, chronologically, it comes after the Tower, after this big explosion, after this unexpected thing. Things come crumbling down. And then the Star comes out to light the way. Renewed hope, faith, and optimism. Do everything that's in your job to do, and leave the rest to God, Spirit, Angels, Guides. A card of wish fulfillment based on trust and faith. What did I say? The star comes after the tower, and here we have the tower. So there's hope. There's hope after whatever it is that happened. This probably the tower, unexpected major events which break everything right down and expose everything too. So that probably means that whatever that devil card, that the devil card or the person that's attached to, something happened. But there's recovery here. It looks like someone is trying to get better. Somebody is on the right path. And Spirit is saying, look, there's hope here. Don't give up just quite yet, which means that for more than half of you, this is going to be the case. The Three of Wands again, and the Four of Wands, which is the other happy home card. So this is feeling more positive and optimistic about the future, about the home, about the family, about the relationship or marriage, even though it's, again, more of a waiting energy. So it's kind of like, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty hopeful and positive and optimistic this time, but I'm not going to take any specific action right now. I'm just waiting and watching to see how things continue to play out. And that's pretty much the gist of this for the last 2 weeks of May. But again, there's hopeful, positive energy here that I am picking up. Okay, Virgo, those are your messages for the last 2 weeks of May. I hope that you found them useful or helpful or hopeful in some way. Again, if this resonates with you enough that you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, maybe take a deeper look at something for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to hear from you and to work with you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the June general readings. Until then, stay well, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.